Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Rosten's Reviews. My name is Mr. Rosten, 7th social studies teacher here at BMS, and I am very, very excited to bring you episode 8 of Rosten's Reviews. This week was a great week in social studies, and I'm super excited to go over with you and review what we did in social studies this week. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so this week we started off with the Battle of Lexington and Concord. We learned about the very first battle of the American Revolution. So what we did is we looked at 6 primary sources. So these are all created during the American Revolution. Some of them were from the British side. Some of them were for the American side. Because remember, we're looking for biases and we're learning about different perspectives. And so for each artifact, you did you did 2 things that you noticed, right? So 2 observations. You wrote down 2 inferences that you had, and then you wrote who won the battles. And then at the end, for our exit slip, we did who you think won the Battle of Lexington, who do you think won the Battle of Concord. We wrote, a peel or erase, and then we answered that question, and bada bing, bada boom. Job done. The Declaration of Independence. Yes, we went over the Declaration of Independence. We learned that there are 4 sections. We have the preamble, which we know is the introduction. We have the natural rights. We have our list of grievances, and we know that grievances really means problems. And we went through our resolution, and we know that resolution means or is similar to proclamation. So we know that that's an important official statement, and that is the American colonists letting King George know that we are now free, independent states, and that we no longer are under British rule. So we went through, and basically what we did is we read the section, we then summarized it, and then we wrote down what was the most important detail. And for our exit slip that day, we wrote a peel or erase paragraph explaining which section was the most important. We gave a piece of text evidence, and then we explained why. After the Declaration of Independence, we started the battles of the Revolution. Now that we have declared independence from Great Britain, it is time to fight for our right to be free. So we did a gallery walk of the battles of the Revolution. I had 5 battles around the room. We had the Battle of Bunker Hill. We had Saratoga. We had the Battle of Yorktown, the Battle of Camden. No, not New Jersey, South Carolina, and Fort Ticonderoga. And basically what the students did is we looked at the critical content. So the students read the poster. They wrote down what happened, whether it was, the British had 10 times more as the colonists, or the colonists waited to shoot the British till they saw the whites of their eyes, like on Bunker Hill. And then they wrote who won and gave a brief explanation as to why. At the end of class, we wrote a claim statement stating which battle was the most important for the American colonists and why. And we're putting that in the book that this week and the beginning of next week as an assessment, because we just want to see, we've been practicing this for a long time. It's time to get a little assessment on what we did. All right, friends, and that's what we did in social studies this week in Mr. Rosten's class. I hope you all learned a little bit of something. Next week, we're going to start winding down the American Revolution, and we're going to do our last 3 lessons of the unit, and then we're going to do our Unit 1 test and our HIQ, which is going to be on the Boston Massacre, so I'm very excited for that. Just some important announcements. Announcement number 1 is next week we are going to start our notebook check. It's going to be an assessment grade. I have my copy of the notebook on my small group table, so that way you can take a look at it, make sure that your notebook looks like mine, making sure that your notebook is neat, making sure that your table of contents is up to date, and making sure all the papers that we need are in there, because remember, you are going to need it for our first fishbowl debate. So please make sure that all of your stuff is in your notebooks. Next week on the agenda is the last 3 assignments, or the last 3 lessons. So we're going to do, and I apologize, I'm just looking at, we're going to do Valley Forge. We're going to look at why the colonists won. And then we're going to review for our Unit 1 test, which is going to be next in a week from Monday. So that's an important announcement. All right. I'm going to post on Google Classroom. There's an AI notebook that's been following along with us. So it'll be a good way for you to review if you have access to it. And that's it for Rosten Reviews this week. So I hope you all have a great weekend. Get some rest, recharge the batteries, come back on Monday with 110% because you know Mr. Rosten is coming with the heat in social studies. As I always say at the end of every episode, peace be with you and with you, Mr. Rosten.